the high seas, Pisces. Cast my line, now they're biting. Yeah, rocky coasts and lighthouses. What she knows now, I doubt it. Talk to me nice. I think your confusion starts with street lights.
Hi guys. I've missed you so much. I have not been able to record in so long, but I tell you what, I busted my ass and I got all the videos recorded for July. So I know it's really late. And I know you guys probably didn't expect to hear from me in July, but let me tell you, July 2017, a year ago, is when I started recording monthly videos, and the Capricorn in me just could not allow me to just not record for July. Like, you know, a part of me felt like I should just jump right to August, but no way. Like, Cancer season happened, okay? July happened, and I know we want to just leave July in July, and I know it's very much close to August, but I will be doing August videos very fucking soon. But no, July, I felt so much energy as an empath for the month of July, you know. So definitely wanted to record messages for you guys. So for those of you who are led to watch this video, you know, I always believe that time doesn't exist to tarot, you know, so there could be messages in these videos for you guys, and you never know. So if you're led to watch the July videos, even though it's very close to August, thank you so much, because I worked very hard at these messages, and I just think that, you know, I just care about all you guys. I care about all my viewers and my subscribers, so I definitely wanted to touch base on how the hell July went for all of us, okay? So as always, I'm going to have my intro video, you know, explaining what to look forward to in the reading. All the astrology information for, in general, the planets are going to be in this video, and then in the personal readings, in the next videos, there's a little bit more of personal stuff for Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, all the signs personally. But as far as the collective, we had a lot going on. So something I want to say immediately here is that Cancer, you know, July is shared by Cancer and Leo. So we're going to be talking a lot about Cancer and Leo energy in the houses that it happens for in your sign. You know, as an Aries or a Taurus or a Gemini, these houses matter. So we go into detail about that. And to me, it's just really interesting, the whole Cancer-Leo cusp that we went through, because this is the moon and the sun. This is the mother and the father energy. This is masculine and feminine. So this whole month was a big giant eclipse because of the moon being ruled by Cancer and Leo being ruled by the sun. So the energy we experienced in July anyways was a huge eclipse. It was the moon becoming the sun, and the sun, you know, becoming the moon. And we even had eclipses in July. We entered the month with a grand water trine, okay, between Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. We had the sun in Cancer, Jupiter was in Scorpio, and Pisces had Neptune. So, you know, the beginning of the month was extremely emotional. I mean, Cancer season was extremely emotionally exhausting, and at the same time, it was very enlightening. So a lot of the things that I've been telling people on my social media is that Cancer season actually awakens the soul, because the sun is where the moon is comfortable. So when the sun is in Cancer, it's an opposite energy, because Cancer is ruled by the moon. So awareness, the sun, is basically illuminating our soul. So everyone has a moon sign. And so I'm going to go ahead and tell you that you really want to watch for your moon sign for July. So I know that I'm late telling you this, but all I could keep thinking about in July is how much I was resonating with my moon. So I resonated very strongly with the Taurus reading. So that's just a tip. From now moving forward, you know, you might resonate way more with your moon sign, because the moon has been awakened collectively. So for instance, I have a Taurus moon, and the moon, my shadow side, you know, I'm watching more for the Taurus readings now, because I know that because of Cancer season and because of these eclipses, I resonate more with my moon. So you might want to check out for your moon. Now that it's Leo season, or you know, when you guys watch this, it's going to be Leo season. So now that it's Leo season, you guys might want to watch, you know, the sun. Like, it's going to be, our sun is awakening now, but we have to awaken the soul before we can awaken the body. The sun controls our physical body. So there's been a subconscious soul awakening in Cancer season. And so I just wanted to share with you guys that you guys might want to watch for your moon sign this month if you know your moon. Okay, that's just a little tip. You might want to watch for other tarot readers too. You're going to resonate more with your shadow side. The moon is what we hide. The moon is like what we feel at a soul level. So, back to this energy that we started the month under, we had a grand water trine. So that's why, there was a lot of emotion in July, because the water signs were in a trine in the sky. So a lot of the Trinity when it comes to our emotion, very powerful stuff. Not to mention, July is the start of eclipse season. This is when these eclipses started rolling in, right? We had that full moon in Capricorn at the end of June, so we entered July with that energy, but it was very, very overmasked by water. So this is eclipse season, you guys. This is retrograde season, okay? So I want to mention to you real quick here that I'm offering retrograde readings. I am definitely back recording. So if you guys are interested in a personal reading with me, thank you so much to those of you who got personal readings with me and who were patient. I'm not sure if you guys watched my last videos last month, but a lot has been changing with me. I temporarily moved, and I moved back, and I moved back, and I moved back, and I was around a situation that didn't allow me to read tarot, things like that. But some of you still reached out to me, you still donated to my channel, and that just meant the world to me, because this is what I do to financially secure myself as an Earth, Taurus, Capricorn rising. So I just wanted to thank you guys who have gotten readings with me. All my readings are so special, and it just blows my mind that people reach out to me and watch my videos. It's amazing, and it just fills my heart. So I do have retrograde readings going on for $30. This is going to be a special all throughout August. I don't even know if it gets good feedback, then I'll probably do it in July too. But basically, if you want to know what the retrograde season is going to offer you, I'm going to offer these readings to people. $30 for a retrograde reading, and I'm going to look at your chart. And I'm going to discuss all the retrogrades and what they mean and how they're affecting you according to your zodiac sign. And then I'm going to pull a tarot card. So there's about 6 planets retrograde. So for each planet that is retrograde, I will pull a tarot card for advice. So I just thought that was a kind of nice service to offer for retrograde season, because retrogrades are planets moving backwards. It's planets slowing down, changing orbit. Mercury just went retrograde on the 26th, so we can go ahead and chop that off. Mercury retrograde now. It's going to be retrograde until August 13th, I believe. So Mercury, Mars, Saturn, all these planets have gone retrograde, and Jupiter went direct this month though. Jupiter went direct on July 10th. So other than it being retrograde season, guys, for those of you who want to contact me about that, if you're interested in a retrograde reading, please let me know. $30 special. And then, yeah, the next thing there we had going on is Venus. So Venus was in Leo for the first couple weeks of the month, the first week, and then we had Venus enter Virgo. So Venus is Virgo right now. I feel like Venus is going to be in Virgo for a couple more weeks maybe. So Venus is in Virgo on July 9th, Venus entered Virgo. July 10th was when Jupiter went direct. And then on the 13th, that's when we had that Cancer solar eclipse, you guys, and that was opposite Pluto. So we had a 20-degree Cancer eclipse, and then opposite of Cancer is Capricorn, where we had the 20 degrees Pluto. So that eclipses are very powerful. They start new beginnings and endings, even more so than new moons and full moons. So, this was an emotional eclipse. This was like a purifying, cleansing, death and rebirth emotionally. Like, it was very, very powerful. So, it really sucks I wasn't here to talk to you about the Capricorn. I didn't talk about the Gemini new moon, the Capricorn full moon, or the Cancer new moon. So I'm like behind 3 moon cycles, but don't worry, I'm going to be back tomorrow on the 27th talking about the Aquarius full moon, lunar, blood moon, super eclipse. Crazy. I'm definitely going to be here to channel some messages for the Aquarius eclipse, guys, tomorrow. So next is July 22nd is when the sun enters Leo. Whoop, whoop. So we move from this emotional, deep cardinal energy. Like, we all wanted to act from our emotions in Cancer season, but there was not shit that we could do. Cancer season is very interesting. As a Pisces, I understand this water energy, but man, was it emotional, very emotionally draining. Everyone becomes aware of their emotions. Not everybody's aware of their emotions, but when the sun enters Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, everyone becomes aware of their emotion. And when everyone becomes aware of their emotions, we all start acting from a place of emotion, which isn't normal. Not all of us act from a place of emotion. We all have water energy in different places in our chart. So Cancer season was pretty crazy because we all wanted to, you know, be a leader emotionally. We all wanted to act out of these emotions because Cancer is the cardinal water sign. Water meaning emotion, cardinal meaning action. So this is emotional action turning into passionate, fixed stability. So Leo comes in at the second half of the month to really revive our ego. You know, we go, I don't know about you, but every year in Cancer season, I kind of forget that it's only a month. I'm like, well, this is it. This is how life is going to be. We're all emotional and it's water, water, water. But then Leo season comes in, and Leo's the North Node right now, guys. So there's stuff about our destiny. There's stuff about our ego and pride and our authentic self-expression that's coming out here. The sun is ruled by Leo. So that's why Leo season is so symbolic, because the sun is right at home. We're going to gain so much awareness over the next month, but I'm going to save a little bit of that information for the Leo video that I do and the August videos that I'm going to have coming out soon, okay? So Leo season is here. Hopefully we feel a little bit less emotional as we go into August. We're still underneath the Cancer cusp of oscillation. So there's Cancer energy, there's Leo energy, there's water energy, there's fire. But when water meets fire, there's an evaporation. So this whole month is very evaporating. You know, a lot of parts of ourselves are just gonna kind of mystify. You know, it's gonna get a little bit steamy, a little bit confusing, but it's all about expressing our emotion. Whenever fire and water join up together, which is Cancer and Leo, this July is shared by fire and water, and then August is shared by earth and fire. So we'll talk more about that in August, but this month was about expressing our emotion. Hopefully we express the way we feel, guys, because the reason why we went through Cancer season was to discover what we felt on a soul level. It was to become cleansed on a maternal level, on a soul awakening level, so that we could step into Leo season knowing the direction forward, knowing our destiny of the North Node, knowing our passion and our drive, you know what I mean? Knowing who we are at a childlike level. Like Leo is all about innocence and becoming a child, but it's also the lion, you know, so it's about being courageous. You know, the things that we weren't brave enough to do at this first half of July, we're all of a sudden gonna gain the passion and drive and will and fire to do. So there's gonna be a lot of things that pick up at the end of July here, and I'm kind of gonna get started on these August videos soon so that I can have these messages out sooner. And then sure enough, we end the month here with the Aquarius total lunar eclipse on July 27th. Now remember, Mercury went retrograde, and this eclipse here, now I'm going to save this for my video tomorrow, but I just want you guys to keep in mind that this eclipse is conjunct Mars in the South Node. So there's going to be a lot of aggressive releasing that goes on collectively. This is some bizarre energy. This is going to be strange to kind of channel, but Aquarius is my 12th house, and I'm definitely going to channel this Uranian, Mars, Saturnian energy. But this eclipse I know is going to be powerful because the eclipse in Cancer a couple weeks ago was so powerful too. This is going to be powerful on a collective level though. Cancer was powerful on an emotional level. This Aquarius lunar eclipse is a blood moon. It's going to be visible for 2 hours for most of us. Just keep, if you guys want to know about those messages, I'm going to have a video coming out tomorrow about that. But you know, that seems to be a bit, that's it for July. These messages are very intense, you guys. So I really hope that you guys are led to watch. I worked very hard trying to get these recorded by the end of the month. And another thing, you know, guys, Cancer is all about the past. So I kept that in mind when I was thinking about, you know, should I do July videos? And I'm like, hell yeah. Because, you know, some of us are going to want to reflect on the month. Like, I just wanted to know what the hell was going on. I just didn't feel right, you know, letting August come in and just starting from August. Like, so I definitely worked really hard to get these recordings out here. So thank you guys so much for tuning in and for following me, subscribing, supporting me, even when I took that month-long break. You know, if anything, I realized that this is my passion and that this is what I want to do. I want to help people. I want to get messages from the universe and get some kind of guidance, because holy crap, there's so much going on in the universe right now that, you know, the least I can do is try to help people on a spiritual level, because I've got people that aren't even into astrology coming to me saying, hey, you know, what the hell's going on? I'm like, well, eclipse, well, Cancer season. So thank you guys so much for watching and tuning in. Hopefully you enjoy your readings, and yeah, I will see you again in August. Bye. Hi, Virgo. Uh, how are you guys doing? Welcome to your very late July 2018 reading. So, this is definitely interesting. Cancer season, definitely interesting. But as I record this video, I'm actually in Leo season. It's July 24th. Hopefully this video will be uploaded by like July 25th, 26th at least. I'm hoping that some of you are still led to watch these messages. Cancer season is all about the past anyway. It's all about emotion and stuff like that. So it never hurts to kind of go back in time and, reflect on how a month happened. I thought about just going into the July readings, but I really felt the need to talk to my viewers and my subscribers about July because July was a very, very, very heavy month. Because it's been so long that I haven't talked to you, I've been away from my camera, I've been away from my recording environment for over a month. So I definitely didn't want to leave you guys hanging on July messages, so I'm just going to bust my ass and do the July videos and then turn around and basically just do the August ones too. I think it's important. Too much happened in July to just act like that. Like, this is a month we're all going to try to act like it didn't happen, but everything that happened over the last month, it happened. Cancer season happened, okay? And it happened to us all on deep, deep, deep levels. So as an earth sign, Virgo, I can only imagine what that did to you spiritually and emotionally. As an earth sign, you guys handle emotion and spirituality in a very grounded way. It's kind of hard to ground yourself in Cancer season though, and not to mention all the retrogrades and eclipses that are going on. So I'm going to be talking a lot about astrology in my intro video. So for those of you who are interested in what's going on planetary wise, I am going to be doing my best to kind of catch us all up on that astrology information in my intro. But my videos are about an hour and 30 minutes long this month, so I don't want to spend too much time repeating myself about things that you've already heard in the intro, okay? I want to get kind of quickly into your tarot spread, especially because it's been so long since we've talked. But very briefly, Virgo, there's some things going on astrology-wise for you personally. The fact that Neptune is retrograde in your 7th house, Neptune, illusions in the relationship, spirituality, that dreamy fantasy energy in your relationships kind of slowing down a bit, taking a more realistic look at your relationships, as Neptune is kind of staying in Pisces, retrograding, moving kind of backwards. So this is about, you guys might be really thinking about the past, illusions that you felt in the past in your relationships, okay? And that's no problem. That's Neptune retrograde in your 7th house. So you guys can really be taking a hard, realistic look at the relationships you have with other people, places, and things, romantic relationships, siblings, children, parents, friendships, co-workers, all of that good stuff. That's all the 7th house of relationships. And you've got Neptune retrograde there. So it's definitely about taking a hard, cold look. And that shouldn't be hard for you, Virgo, because it's not that Virgos don't appreciate imagination or illusion. It's just you guys are more realistic. You like the facts straight. You like it logical. So that kind of is going to help you in the relationship department, hopefully. Another thing is Venus in Virgo. Venus is in Virgo throughout the second half of July. The first half, Venus was in your 12th house. So that could have been some subconscious mystery going on there, maybe even some self-sacrifice. You could have maybe felt like you had to sacrifice certain parts of yourself for love at the beginning of July, but then we have Venus moving from your 12th house to your 1st house. Speaking of your 1st house, Virgo, how do you feel about your birthday being so damn close already? I mean, I really feel like Virgo season was literally like yesterday. Even though I know damn well it wasn't yesterday, because it was Cancer season yesterday, and that is different from Virgo season. Virgo is my opposite sign. I'm a Pisces, and let me tell you, I cannot wait for your season. Not only because of the grounded reality that takes place, of the detail, analyzation, everyone gets their shit straight in Virgo season. Also just because this heat, man, like, I love the summer, but I have never dealt with a summer that felt like this. Like, I am just ready for fall. Okay, I'm just ready for things to kind of grow cool. I'm just so ready for fall, you guys. And I'm ready for your guys' solar returns. That's when everything enters my 7th house. Like, Venus is in my 7th house right now. Virgo is my 7th house as a Pisces. So yeah, we do have Venus in your first house, which is self-love. Anytime Venus is in the first house, it's all about self-love. It also makes you more attractive. It attracts beauty and love and abundance into your life. So just know that the goddess of love is hanging out in that Virgo energy. Other than that, guys, as far as collectively as a Virgo, Cancer is your 11th house. So for the first half of July, we were dealing with an area in your chart that had to do with your goals, your wishes, your dreams, inspiration, your friends, and your groups of people. Okay, your community. So Cancer symbolizes all that kind of energy for you, Virgo, because the 11th house is that Aquarian energy, but it's more so emotion. So you could have been dealing with a great deal of emotion when it came to groups of people. So no wonder Virgo handles emotion in a very interesting ways, because it could be one person in front of you that has an emotional issue, but because Cancer is your 11th house, it's almost like this, it's a group of emotion that comes at you. Like it could be one person, it could be one problem, but you ever notice that, Virgo, that when there's a small emotional issue, you kind of amplify it towards the collective? If you ever wondered why emotion seems very overwhelming for you, even if it's just a small issue, it's because of where Cancer is on the wheel for you. So Cancer is the most emotional that it gets, you know what I mean? And you got that in your house of groups and community. So some of you guys could have been dealing with emotion within friends or certain, you know, dreams or goals that you have towards the first of the month. And then we move from your 11th house energy to towards the end of July. All this energy is going to move towards your 12th house, because we have to get through the 12th house before we can get to the first house, right? We have to go through Pisces before we get to Aries. We have to be spiritual. We have to sacrifice certain subconscious influences before we can become aware of who we truly are authentically, right? So we're going to have this long month of everything. So the emotion is not over, Virgo. For you, you're just lucky, you're just lucky, because we go through Cancer season, which is very emotional, and then we move to Leo season that's supposed to be more inspiring. It's supposed to be more passionate. It's this fiery energy. Everyone steps into their ego, into the light of who they really are in Leo season. But for you, Virgo, since Leo is the sign right before you, that means that Leo occupies a very special part. And as a Pisces, I feel that the 12th house is very special. I am the 12th house. So as I mentioned before, this 12th house has to do with subconscious releasing, right? You have a very interesting 12th house. Your 12th house is ruled by the sun. So everything that is subconscious to Virgo eventually becomes aware. It eventually becomes enlightened and illuminated by the sun, because it's just kind of interesting to have a Leo 12th house, because the 12th house is usually dark and hidden and secretive and an illusion. But when you have the sun in your 12th house, everything in that house becomes brought to light. So it's very interesting that we move from this very emotional Cancer season. So basically everything that you went through in July is you're gonna need to subconsciously release it, Virgo, in Leo season. Like it might not be as fun or as fiery or as passionate for you, Virgo, as it is for everyone else. You guys are still dealing with the energy shift into your 12th house. And then right after Leo season, we step into your first house where the sun is gaining on you, Virgo. The closer and closer we get to September, the closer and closer we get. So in a month, the sun's going to be in Virgo, basically. So over the next month, what you're going to feel is the sun's energy getting closer and closer and closer. And, that's kind of scary, because, we all know that the sun is the largest star in the solar system. So just imagine yourself basically getting closer and closer to Leo season. So it's interesting. The more Leo season disappears collectively, the more it actually appears for Virgo. And I mean that because the sun is getting closer to you as it's getting farther away, basically. So that's kind of weird. Hopefully you guys understand that. Just know that Leo season is very subconscious for you, Virgo. It has a lot to do with your spirituality. It has a lot to do with sacrifice. It has a lot to do with illusion and mystery. Okay, so as a Pisces, I love that energy, but Virgo, you are the opposite sign of Pisces. So where there's illusion, you like to make real. Where there's imagination, you like to be grounded and logical, even though you have traits like that too. Your 12th house is is very, very much ruled by the happiness of Leo. So I don't know why the Three of Cups is reversed, but we're going to turn that right side up. Some of you guys could be getting out of third-party situations, or, you know, not feeling very celebratory in July. So before we start your reading, Virgo, since I haven't talked to you guys in so long, I definitely, wow, okay, here you are. I definitely wanted to, you know, just touch base on everything that you were feeling throughout July. So I shuffled and I shuffled until I had the Hermit card. And this is your guys' ruling card. So before we start, this is not your reading. This is just something that I'm doing to get a clear idea and a clear perception of your guys' energy throughout July. And then I'm going to be pulling 4 cards from the Wisdom of the House of Night for your actual reading. And then we're going to clarify with traditional tarot, okay? So we already talked about, you know, how everything, this is all about your 11th house and your 12th house. July is all about your 11th and 12th house, okay? And there's a full moon in your 6th house. It's a lunar eclipse in Aquarius, okay? So just keep in mind that at the end of this month, not only do we have an Aquarius lunar eclipse, your ruling planet Mercury also goes retrograde the day after, okay? So a lot of intense energy, Virgo. But instead of talking to you about it all, what I'm going to do is just let the cards speak, okay? Because you're my opposite energy. And that's just what needs to happen for the Virgo reading. You guys are very good at analyzing details, stuff like that. So I'm just going to let the cards speak for you. So let's see what's going on for you in July. So this Hermit card is symbolic for Virgo energy right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the first 4 cards right underneath. And I've already shuffled, right? So the first 4 cards underneath this Virgo card are going to be symbolic representations of what Virgo is feeling all throughout July, or what you're feeling right now as you're watching this video. But before I do that, I'm going to take a closer look at the Hermit card and see if there's anything coming up intuitively that I can sense. So I love the Hermit card. The Hermit card is a card that comes out for soul searching. It comes out when one needs to retreat into isolation for the answer. He has this lantern because the Hermit is very wise, okay? He's a very hidden prophet. He might not look like he knows much. He might not look like he's otherworldly, but he's very powerful. Looks like a regular old man, right? But he's very wise, and he's wise because of the amount of time that he's spent in his solitude. He's wise because of the amount of time that he's spent soul searching and reflecting on his own inner light. So often we look to the light of others to show us our own awareness, and that statement doesn't even sound right. In order to become truly enlightened, we have to look within. And in order to look within, we have to be in our private solitude and isolation. So I do feel like July, there might have been a significant amount of time spent alone as a Virgo. But just know that the alone time that you spent was to isolate you from other external energies. Sometimes we just need to be alone. This is a very quiet card. When this card comes up, I sense the need for quiet and solitude, you know, because it's a reflection card. So this is like about self-reflection. You guys could have been doing some soul searching in July to really find out, you know, and it's just in time because it's very, very accurate for Virgo to be doing soul searching in July because of that 12th house energy, because it's almost your birthday. So you guys are really thinking about certain things in your life right now. And I'm just seeing here that there even could have been some sadness in July because we do see this blue color here, but I see that you guys are kind of reflecting on this sadness and reflecting on how to ground yourself. And it's interesting that I was talking about grounding yourself in Cancer season, because it's kind of hard to ground yourself in an earthly way when the universe is being controlled by water. So it's interesting that this Hermit is actually up in the clouds. So in July, you guys might not have felt grounded, and the only reason why the universe took away that sensation of being grounded for you, Virgo, was because the universe knew that you would retreat to the clouds. So you were actually walking on air. You were like walking on water. You created a foundation from nothing. You know, you knew that your environment, you analyzed your environment, and you knew that you weren't grounded there. So what did you do? You used your mind, like Virgo always does. You used your mind to get yourself through a situation where you were alone. You used your mind to get answers from the universe. and you spent certain time alone in July, and it was that time alone that allowed you to create an otherworldly foundation for yourself. So, July, you could have learned a lot about where you truly stand. You could have learned a lot about where you stand with yourself, where you stand with others, where you stand when there's no one else around you to count on, Virgo. So I guarantee if you're watching this video, if you take a look back on July, there was a moment or two. There was a time in July where you felt completely alone. Completely alone. And I mean, some of you could have even felt loneliness. Like you looked around and there was no one around who truly saw what you were going through or who truly understood. And the universe does things like that so that, because when we look, I'm telling you, we look outward way too much in this society. When we really should be looking to who matters most, which is ourself, right? If we're ever confused about something, it's so interesting how the first thing that we want to do is look outward to another person, place, or thing when no one knows the answer but us. So there's a situation in July where you were made to feel alone, Virgo. Some of you were very much truly physically and mentally and spiritually alone and emotionally alone. And the universe designed that situation for you so that you could realize something about your own soul. It had to eliminate a lot of outside influence, whether this was a relationship, a job, a living situation, a friendship, whatever happened in July that you wound up feeling alone in, Virgo. It's because you guys think a lot. Virgos are very, very strong-minded people. And when you think a lot, it's very important for you to take time out to be alone so that the thoughts that come to you in those moments of silence are the thoughts that actually matter, the thoughts that actually have an influence over your being and over your light. So I just see that hopefully in July you guys did a lot of looking into your own light. Hopefully you guys lit your own way, so that wherever you wind up in August, it was because of you, not someone else, not anyone from outside of yourself, but from what's within. So hopefully you guys did some soul searching so that the ground that you're walking on now is created from your own inner wisdom and guidance, okay? So that's what I'm picking up from the Hermit card. I love this card because it does talk about isolation, solitude, soul searching, and it talks about spiritual wisdom as well. So there's a lot of secret interpretations of the Hermit card, but it immediately gives me an energy of standing on your own. Whether there's people around you in July or not, Virgo, it was very important for you to realize that when your foundation falls apart, you can create a mental foundation for yourself. You can create solid ground out of emotion, out of spirituality. It's about, as an earth sign, it's about you taking the spiritual and making it physical, because you rule the physical realm. So when things happen in your physical environment, Virgo, like within your relationships, when there's something physical that happens at work or with money or with your job, that is the universe trying to reach you on a spiritual level. So hopefully as an earth sign, you're able to see through the illusion of physical. Because the reason why things happen to us physically is because they're happening to us on another level spiritually, okay? So there's all that coming up for you, Virgo. But if you're ready, we can take a closer look at what's going on right behind you. So what is right behind the Virgo? Okay, we have the 9 of Cups. So this is almost a 10. This is almost the 10 of Cups. So Virgo, you are almost at complete emotional happiness. Now, this could be some sort of wish. Whatever you're wishing for in July, know that it's coming up here in this reading, because the 9 of Cups is a wish fulfillment card. Okay, this is a man who is sitting surrounded by all his emotional desires. Even Virgo, even earth signs have emotional desires. Now, these emotional desires can be disguised as earthly values or earthly possessions, but at the end of the day, Virgo does have emotion. And there's certain things that could happen in your life to make you more emotionally fulfilled. So there's some sort of wish coming up here for you, Virgo, that you're focusing on in July. It doesn't surprise me that there's a bunch of cups behind you in July, because emotion is behind everyone in July. And it's very interesting that even in this card, there's emotion that is behind this man. So there's something here that you might have even been turned your back on in July, Virgo. because these cups are behind this man. He's not looking at them. And it just so happens that how the cards are lined up, we have you turning your back on this emotion too. So there could have been a message here about July. You could have, in order to create your own mental foundation, there might have been a certain person, place, or thing that emotionally fulfilled you that you had to temporarily turn your back on. You know, this was something that was literally a wish for you. And, you know, maybe it was a wish that didn't come true or something like that. So you just looked to your own self to emotionally fulfill your own self. And I am seeing a lot of isolation. You know, there's a lot of cards in these deck, and I'm seeing right now the first 3 cards that you have are definitely you on your own. And we have the 3 of Wands here. So the 3 of Wands is also someone who's standing on their own. And, you know, so end of June, beginning of July. So June and July could have been very much a portal for you guys. You know, there could have been a certain decision that you had to make. And it could have been a decision between 2 people. It could have been a decision between 2 jobs or 2 different ways to go. It doesn't even have to be 2 different things. Like, you could have just been caught in the middle of a rock and a hard place. Like, what do I do? What do I do? That's the 2 of Wands. But the 3 of Wands comes right after the 2 of Wands. So this is showing that Virgo made a decision. In July, there was a decision, at least coming towards the end of July, there's a decision that you made, right? So what do we do after a long period of confusion? Well, when we finally make a decision, it's time to wait, right? This is a card of waiting. And while this man is waiting, what is he waiting for? He's waiting for his ships to come in. He can see. This is about being able to see something before it's actually there. Like, he knows his ships are coming in, but they're kind of far away right now. So he's got to stay patient. So July is about staying patient for what you know is coming in the future, right? Virgo is very intuitive, especially when they take time out to isolate their own mental capacity. So there's something here. You made a decision, and now you're just kind of waiting for the rewards of that decision to come in. So this is a fire energy. We've got fire and water, which is interesting because July is literally Cancer and Leo. So we've got the 9 of Cups and the 3 of Wands. So this could be some kind of wish that you're waiting to come to fruition. Could be a career wish, a relationship wish. All of you are going to be... This 9 of Cups represents something different for all Virgo. But it does represent emotional fulfillment. It does represent, you know, emotional happiness. There's like something that's almost at a full completion with you emotionally. And that could be why you're waiting here. So what you're doing while you're waiting there, Virgo, is just thinking about your future. Beforehand, you had to make a decision about the 2 of Wands, the card that comes right before this card. It talks all about staying comfortable or going on an adventure. Are you going to choose the road that has no challenge for you? Are you going to stay at a place, stay with a person, place, or thing that obviously you've already outgrown? It's very hard to choose between the 2 wands because there's a road, and it's going to be different for all of you. Some of you guys chose to stay in your comfort zone, which I completely understand as a mutable sign. We go through a lot of change, so when we actually have the choice to choose between change and stability, when a mutable sign has the choice to go through change, we will more often than not choose to not go through change, because we go through change more than any other sign because we are mutable signs: Pisces, Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius. So when we are given the opportunity to keep something the same, more oftentimes than not, we will keep it the same. Not because we didn't want to grow or because we weren't courage enough or because we were scared. It was just because, you know, we're already going through, chances are we're already going through so much change on other levels that if something can stay the same, please just let it. So if you're a Virgo that was like, you know, so much is changing right now, I'm actually going to go ahead and stay on this same road for a bit longer. Well, that's totally fine. But the ultimate question that you were faced with is, I can go down these 2 different roads. I can either go down a road that I'm familiar with, or I can go down a road that I know nothing about. So it really depends on the kind of Virgo you are. Do you want to analyze the same details, or are you a Virgo who's ready in your life now to analyze a new abundance of detail? And, you know, the 3 of Wands can sometimes be a combination of both 2 roads. But either way, this was a road. You probably are choosing the road that emotionally fulfills you, because it's here with the 9 of Cups. And the last card we have for you is the 4 of Wands. So we have the 3 of Wands and the 4 of Wands, which is a chronological order, right? So you're literally waiting for your ships to come in. They come in and you celebrate. The Three of Wands and the Four of Wands is talking about, this is definitely something to do with the home environment. Maybe has something to do with celebrating. You know, you're celebrating the fact that your ships are finally coming in. What you waited for is finally here at the end of July. It's a wish come true. Like you waited and waited and waited for this wish. For some of you, this Nine of Cups, you're sharing it with another person, because this is the marriage card. Some of you had a wish to commit, because this is a commitment. The Four of Wands is a marriage commitment. It's a marriage. It's a commitment. Some of you guys are definitely thinking about marriage in July with a person, place, or thing. For those of you who aren't resonating with a relationship or a marriage or a commitment, this is a card of celebration. This is another card for your home environment. So some of you guys are, you know, really celebrating certain things in your home environment. It's like a wish come true. Some of you guys, maybe you're finally moving in July, or you're getting some sort of emotional fulfillment in a living situation finally. Or you're just kind of, that is your wish. Some of you guys have some sort of wish to see something come to fruition in the home environment or the relationship, the marriage, or something that you're celebrating. Some of you guys are just celebrating a wish that you've been waiting for a very long time coming in. So this is a card of celebration. Like these two people are celebrating. There's a party going on in the background. But to be honest, this is the marriage card. So for those of you who are married or want to be married, this could be engagements for some of you. But I am seeing a relationship here for some of you guys. For those of you who don't apply to that, this could be, we don't know who these two people are. You know, it's not like they're kissing underneath there. So that could be a best friend or a mom or a brother or a child. This is just someone in your life that you're celebrating with. So it's interesting. I said it's interesting. It's interesting that all these cards show Virgo alone, alone, alone. And then we finally have that last card where you're able to share these emotions, share these wish fulfillments, share the ships coming in with another person. So if this isn't another person, this is finally you feeling like you're not alone, Virgo, because this is the first card in your entire reading right now where you are not shown on your own. We have a lot of people in the background here, and then we've got this one person here that's standing under these Four Wands with you. So this is a relationship for some of you. You know, coming out of a long period of isolation, alone, to some sort of wish coming true, and you waiting for that wish, you know, but you had to make a decision. If you guys are in marriages or relationships at the end of the month, it's most likely because you had to choose that person. You know, you went from the Two of Wands to the Three of Wands to the Four of Wands. So you made a decision to celebrate. You made a decision some of you guys made a decision to live somewhere, or some of you guys made a decision in your marriage or something like that. And whether it was a good or bad decision, it was a decision that you made based off of your own emotional happiness, based off of what you wanted to happen, not what other people wanted to happen, you know, not what you care about other people think. These were your ships, and you waited for those ships. You chose this path, and now there's a need to celebrate. So this is what you're feeling in July. I feel like a lot of you, there's a group of you who spend a lot of time focusing on your wishes emotionally in July. Okay, and it could have been a wish to not be alone anymore, or maybe the reason why Virgo, like, you could potentially be turning your back on all this too. So this goes a lot of different ways here. But what I'm seeing here is a lot of different messages here, that there's a group of you that spend a lot of time alone in July, soul searching and reflecting and kind of going inwards, spending time in solitude. There's another group of you that was very emotional in July. You know, almost a 10 of Cups. So some of you guys are very, very close to a very happy home environment with your family, with your roommates, with your relationships. Or if some of you live alone. Some of you guys have a wish to live alone. Or some of you guys have been living alone and there's a wish here to live with someone else or something like that. But I do see that there's a group of Virgos out there that have a wish here. Okay, you're focusing on your own emotional happiness, which is not very hard or very easy for Virgo, because you guys are an earth sign, and it's very rarely that you actually assess your emotional happiness. And it's because earth signs are made to feel like their emotions don't matter at very young ages. So it takes a lot of wisdom for you guys as earth signs to actually say, hey, I do have my own wishes. I do have my own emotion. Now, some of you guys turned your back on this wish. Some of you guys turned your back on the emotion, but it's okay because it was to face something that was coming, right? It was for much more logical ships to come in. But these ships are out there in the water. So in Cancer season, it's like this is Cancer season. Those boats represent Cancer season. So in Cancer season, so the first half of July, you were able to see and feel things coming out for you. But Leo season is about grabbing a hold of that wand, all right? So this is a mixture here of fire and water, quite literally, because we have only fire and water on the table. But the underlying energy is the Two of Swords. So, July is a crossroads for you, Virgo. It's a mental crossroads. There could be something that you're not seeing. I know that a lot of you guys turned your back on emotion in July because this is the Two of Swords, where literally there's a woman here that is blindfolded and there's a bunch of emotion behind her. There's a lot of rocky emotions in Cancer season. And we've got you here, Virgo, that is standing on solid ground, right? This is your foundation. But, the only concern I have here is that there's something that you need to see about that large body of water behind you. It's about seeing the hurdles emotionally. And this is someone who's at a crossroads and who it's a stalemate. They don't know what to do. They don't know what to do mentally. This is an air energy. Some of you, it might be Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. But we do have Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, Leo, Sagittarius, Aries, and Gemini, Aquarius, Libra energy. Fire, air, and water. No earth. So Virgo, there is something here about you not feeling like you had a foundation in July. And I've mentioned that a few times now, that you're kind of like the only foundation you had in July was in the clouds, in the heavens, in the universe. Like, you had to rely on the universe emotionally in July. You had to rely on your own self for a very long time. But then we have this Four of Wands coming out for you, which is a celebration. Some of you guys are waiting to hear back about some kind of news to celebrate. But the reason why all these cards are on the table is because of a decision that you have to make. This is a mental decision. Now, you've already made the Two of Wands decision. But the Two of Wands has to do with an adventure. It has to do with a portal. But the Two of Swords is a more mental decision. Okay, so just know that there were certain choices that came up for you in July that had a lot to do with your own emotional happiness. Like, the universe was basically forcing Virgo to see their own emotion. You tried to turn your back on this emotion, but it's like the more you turned your back on the emotion, the more you were forced to see the decision that was in front of you. It wasn't working. And I know that because of how the cards look. Like, we've got this Hermit that's looking right at this Two of Swords. And even his eyes are closed. So it's like, if there's something about your eyes being closed to make a decision this month. Now, it might have something to do with a Sagittarius, because we've got Sagittarius here. But this also talks about patience. Okay, some of you literally had a decision to make about a Sagittarius, though. You had a decision to make about, maybe you had to stay patient. Nobody knows why. Everyone thinks the Two of Swords is purposely and willingly doing this. But what if she's not? What if she wants to make a decision really badly, but she's being told to stay patient? It's interesting that there's these two swords and these two cups in the Temperance card. So I feel like this was a love decision, or it was some sort of decision. This both speaks to balance as well. The Two of Swords is kind of a Libra card, and the Temperance is about patience and balance and moderation. And I do feel like this has to do with love for some of you, because we have the Empress. So we've got Aries, Sagittarius, Virgo, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, and Aries, Sagittarius, Leo again. But again, we have no earth energy. And I do want to mention here that there is something here about not avoiding your emotions moving forward into August, because the Temperance card stays on land and water. So it's about, Virgo, this card comes up for you a lot. This is Archangel Michael. This is an angel card just like you. So the path forward to enlightenment has a lot to do with knowing when to stay grounded and realistic, and also knowing when to give in to the spirituality of your emotions, to that spiritual realm. So remember, your foundation is coming up here a lot. Maybe you guys had a decision to make between your logic and between emotion. Like, do I stay this logical person, or do I open up to the new energy that I'm feeling in my emotion? But I love the fact that the Temperance has 1 foot in the water and 1 foot on the ground. So you know what this is? It's a decision to test new waters. Like, there's something here in your life, Virgo, where you had to make a decision. Like, do I try this again? Like, I don't know about the analyzation of those details. I can't see those details yet. You know, I can't see it. So I can't analyze it. But I'm being asked to go down that road. So the Temperance card talks about testing the water. So it's interesting how this person here, this is blindfolded, has her back towards the water. And this has something to do with abundance, has something to do with love in Venus. Because Venus right here, this is in Virgo. And then we have the Fool. So some of you guys worked very hard at a new beginning with a lover, with some sort of Empress woman. Some of you guys are dealing with someone who's pregnant. There's a new beginning coming because of a pregnancy. Because the Empress is a fertile energy. The Empress is usually a pregnant woman. So if you're not dealing with someone who's physically pregnant with a baby, then you're dealing with someone who's giving birth to something, right? This is the birth of new abundant journey. This is you are taking a risk. Like, you guys took a risk about something. You're taking a risk because this is a card where you don't really know. You're taking a break from the hard work. And this is someone who you might have left in July. You might have, definitely traveled across some water or traveled across maybe some emotional travels or something like that. Like someone left because of emotion. But this is a new beginning with something that could potentially have life. This is the birth to a new beginning of love. Aries is coming up here a lot. This is 2 Aries energies, or a Libra or a Taurus. And I see that you really had to make a moderated decision. And Virgo, you were asked to make a decision that you couldn't see clearly. Like, this is a risk for you guys. And it could be a risk that potentially takes you away from something you've worked very hard at. Like, it could take you away from a career or something. But, make sure that you choose patience. Because if there's anything worse than a decision, it's a decision made out of eagerness. Because usually we make the wrong decision when we're being eager, when we're being too forward. But this definitely has to do with a new beginning in love, a new beginning of abundance for some of you. And that doesn't always have to, but remember, Venus, abundance, beauty, new beginning, Virgo, Venus. This has to do with some sort of garden. And it may have to do with the Sagittarius energy. But if it doesn't have to do with the Sagittarius, this has to do with something that it's a very hard decision. Sagittarius squares you on the zodiac wheel. So it was a very tough decision. And I feel like it had a lot to do with taking an emotional risk. Virgo is so quick to turn their back on emotion. But in this case, in July, you didn't really have that choice. Because it was all about you closing your eyes wide shut, right? Like, you had to go inwards, and to make this decision. And it might not have been a logical decision. You might have made something based off of emotion. But overall, I see that you guys are a little bit, you have a decision to make between 2 wishes. And you have a decision to make about some sort of lover. And, you guys can be watching this, and this might have already happened. But there's something about your ships coming in, Virgo. But you're not going to be able to see it. Maybe you didn't think your ships would come in because of how rocky the water is, but they're coming in. They are coming in passionately. So a lot of messages there, but I definitely want to get started on your reading, Virgo. So hopefully that applied to some of you. Hopefully there were certain messages spread out through in there. So now I'm going to grab 4 cards from the Wisdom of the House of Night to symbolize the month of July. So the first 2 cards are going to be symbolic for the first 2 weeks. And then the last 2 cards are going to be symbolic for the last 2 weeks of July. And then I'm going to validate each of the cards. Obedience, fragments, grove. So you're definitely healing from feeling all over the place, Virgo. But there's going to be certain things that you have to stay obedient to. There's a reminder here about obedience. The card obedience is coming out a lot for you guys. Here it is. This is what it looks like. And it talks about, knowing that certain rules are protecting you. Certain time, like when we get rejected or when we get told no, it's to protect us. So just keep that in mind throughout July and going into August, because we could be avoiding disaster. because I definitely seen the chaos card. So we've got rigid, we've got obedience. So I know that you're dealing with some colder energies, Virgo, from the people around you. So let's see what comes out for Virgo. I'm going to shuffle this one last time. And then I'm just going to go ahead and shuffle like this. So this is for Virgo. Sun, moon, and rising, cross watchers, whatever. This is for Virgo energy, July 2018. How did Virgo enter July, the month of July? What was the beginning of July like for Virgo, the mutable earth sign? Let's get some resonating cards with the mutable earth sign energy for July 2018, the Virgo reading. Preferably one at a time, Spirit. All right. Well, we got two cards coming out here. So I'm just going to go ahead and say that these are for your two first cards. Okay, so we've got the first half of July came out together. So there's something here about, you know, maybe the next two cards will come out together too. So we've got chaos coming out for your first card, Virgo. So, you know, going into July, many of you were dealing with the upheaval of your homes, the breakdown. This is like the Tower card. You were dealing with the Tower in relationships and at your job and at your home. Like, I feel like tornadoes come and they literally destroy everything. So this is about chaos. So this tells me that stepping into July as a Virgo was very chaotic. You know, this was a very mental chaos. This could be spiritual chaos, emotional chaos. I honestly think it was all Virgo. I feel like you guys were all just dealing with complete chaos, which, you know, you guys are the fixers, right? So how do you fix what a tornado destroys? Okay, think about how a city or a town looks after a tornado has went through. I mean, that is a hell of a mess to clean up. So you've got one hell of a mess to clean up coming into July. There could have even been a lack of, oh, that's so weird. I literally didn't look. I knew that this card came out, but I was just literally channeling, and I'm gonna talk about a lack of hope. I just kind of felt that intuitively, and your next card is hope. So, you know, wow. For hope and chaos to come back together, or to come out together, it's really beautiful, honestly, because it's usually hope and inspiration that one is lacking in a situation of chaos. But I see that the first week of July was very chaotic for you. The second week, you just, you know, because that's what happens after a storm. You know, you guys, you have to have the hope and the faith that everything's going to be okay. So we do have hope there coming out for you, Virgo. And the reason why the chaos and hope has came up for the first 2 weeks of August or July is because of love. So I know immediately that a lot of you watching were dealing with chaos in the relationships that you were forming. You're dealing with chaos at a heart level. You're dealing with, you know, even though your relationships are chaotic and not always good and helpful and good for you, you're still remaining hopeful. Like, it's like chaos, a hope for a chaotic romance. You know, like some of you guys are with very chaotic people. You're in very chaotic situations, but you're following your heart and you're staying hopeful. And this is the number 10. So definitely we've got 9 and 10 here. So I know that chaos and hope, or chaos and love, have something directly to go together. Like there's something that you learned, because this is the number 9, another Sagittarius energy. But the number 9 in astrology talks all about expanded knowledge. It talks all about philosophy. So there is something here about this chaos that you could learn from. So whatever happened in July that was chaotic for you, Virgo, it was so that you could learn more about hope. It was so that you can learn more about that situation. So if you were going through chaos in your relationships or in the love department, it was so that you could be complete. Because this is an ending and a beginning in love. So there could have been endings and beginnings in your relationships or in your love life that caused a lot of chaos. You know, someone could have moved out. There could have been breakups, heartbreak, betrayal, cheating, just chaos. It could have just been straight up chaos, and it has something to do with a completion that you were going through at a heart level, and it has something to do with relationships for sure. But you're remaining hopeful. So there was something that you could learn about this chaos so that your heart could feel more fulfilled. So we've got the first couple of weeks for you, Virgo, and your third card just popped out, and it's risk. So I already mentioned a risk for you guys, because we had the Fool card. So there's definitely here about some sort of risk. And the reason why this risk is on the table is because of individuality. So there's something that you guys are risking about yourself this month in July. And it could have to do with the fact that you're keeping hope in a situation that has proven to be chaotic to you before. But you're taking a risk. Now, this could be a risk to jump back into something or to jump away. It depends, but it has something to do with you as an individual, okay? This is an individual risk that Virgo is being asked to take. And look at this woman sacrificing. Some of you are not going to take the risk because it just fell in reverse. But this woman is sacrificing her foundation. So there's something here about the sacrifice of your foundation in order to kind of jump into a completely new energy as an individual. You know, and it has something to do with love again, because we have the love card. So loving yourself enough to take this risk, or, you know, knowing that you are who you are in this relationship because of love, and you're taking a risk to go back with that person or something. But you're definitely sacrificing your foundation, Virgo. You're sacrificing the need to feel grounded for something beautiful. And I know this is your foundation because we have the 31 up there. So July does have 31 days in it. So at the very fucking end of July, you guys could be asked to take a very, 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 very strong risk. And another thing is tornadoes ruin foundations as well. So I'm seeing the foundation of a house being completely uprooted. So that could have happened metaphorically, but you're still staying hopeful. Hopeful enough to take a risk, right? But anyway, the 31 is 3 plus 1, which is 4. And the 4th house of Virgo is Sagittarius. So there is a Sagittarius energy coming up here. But for the rest of you, this has to do with your home life, your family life, your roots, you know, your emotions. I'm telling you, Virgo, there's something about your foundation that you're taking a risk with. So let's get the last card for Virgo and then a very accurate underlying energy. One more card for the Virgo reading for July 2018. Okay. So it's interesting here. We've got some Leo energy going on because the last card out is lust, okay? Now, I don't know if the 24th of July is important for you guys or not, but we've got lust here. So you end the month on a very passionate, lustful energy. And then this is really resonating with the Leo reading because the underlying energy is the High Priestess of Earth, okay? So this is a significant Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. I'm going to go ahead and say that you are the High Priestess of Earth, Virgo. Very beautiful for that High Priestess to show up for you. So let's take a look here. Let's further explain now that we have the 4 cards, but I'm going to go ahead and clarify here soon as well. So we know that July is been pretty chaotic for you, Virgo. I just sense that there's a lot of detail flying around. There was a lot that you needed to sift through. There was a lot being destroyed and a lot just becoming uprooted. So a lot of that does not feel good to Earth energy. Because Earth energy is all about staying grounded and staying firm and honoring your roots. So I really feel that the more you try to become grounded in July, the more you were lifted up from the ground. You know, it's probably because a lot of you were trying to ground yourself with people, places, and things that were no longer serving you. So this tornado, this metaphorical tornado, this tower came in. You know, sometimes the universe knocks us down just so that we can regain a new sense of hope. You know, isn't that kind of cruel? But it works. It's kind of an illusion, you know. Sometimes we have to be faced with things falling apart to know what it feels like to be rebuilt. So I love seeing chaos and hope right next to each other. And, you know, another thing that I just realized is that we have the 27 up there. So 27, yes, the 27th of July could be very important for you guys. But 7 plus 2 is 9. So we've got 2 9 cards coming up. We did have the 9 of Cups. So there's an energy here that is a 9 energy. And to me, what the 9 energy is trying to talk to you about through me is that this is almost over. Like there's something here, you're almost at a full completion, Virgo, which is not a bad thing. It's just certain endings coming, which means there's a certain cycles that are coming to completion. This cycle of chaos is almost over, you know, because it's a 9. And then we go to 10, which means completion. And then we have the 7 plus 2, which is also a 9. So, you know, there's something that you're remaining hopeful in, that you're not going to have to remain, like, we should always have hope. But it's unfortunate that it takes a situation like this that pushes us into the energy of hope, right? But there's something that you're learning from the hope and faith that you're keeping alive. And you're also learning from this chaotic hope. Like you might be instilling your hope in things that, you know, you're very logical, Virgo. And logically, it does not look like we have any hope. Look how close this tornado is to us, right? You know, this is about seeing hope in situations that, you know, you're going against your nature is what you're going against. You're going against your grounded, you're going against your foundation, you're going against your logic. So that's very interesting, Virgo, that you're kind of defying your own earth energy because of something you feel at a deeper level. So you know there's a tornado coming. You know this is the tower. You know this is ending. You know this is chaotic. You know this is all these things, but you're still seeing hope in your emotions. You have emotional hope for this situation. Like this is otherworldly. You're not being a typical earth sign in July, especially because you're jumping away from everything that you've built. You're jumping away like this. It's like this woman is running away from this tornado or something. Like she's faced with a decision. You know, it's like after this tornado came and changed your home, you're going to take a risk to build a new home with a certain person, place, or thing, or, you know, and it may even have something to do with lust. You know, there's some sort of risk that you're taking to be in a situation that could be very toxic or lustful, because I read this card for Leo. Some of you guys might be with Leo energy, or maybe you have Leo energy, but I read in my book about what lust meant, and, you know, you just want to be careful that this isn't an obsession, okay? Because lust is an energy that comes up for people that, you know, it could either be an obsession. I'm actually going to read it to you, Virgo, because I want you to analyze the way that this book describes lust. And, you know, it was really meant for me to do this because I just opened up my book to the page of lust. So I literally opened it up to that page. So that is definitely synchronicity. So this says, "My dear one, when this symbol of lust has come before you, beware that when you toy with this energy, you may become consumed by it." So be careful what you're playing around with, Virgo. The energies you're playing around with, because you can easily become consumed by this energy. "There is a fine balance between desire that is pure and the obsession that arises in the insensible thrill of danger. Be careful that your desire remains good, and that what you're wanting doesn't cause you hurt or to hurt yourself or another. It is best that you move cautiously forward. If you're asking about a relationship, you may be developing an obsessive fever that will take a long time to recover from. Ask yourself, what is the nature of your desire? What do you want? Why do you want this so badly? And beware that there is always a hidden agenda to lust." So this basically is telling you at the end of August to be very careful how you move forward. Move cautiously forward. So this is kind of an interesting message to come up for your last card, Virgo, because it's talking about moving forward. And when we've reached the ending to something, we have to move forward. So going into August, you need to be very, very cautious about lustful energies within yourself and with others. We all have desires, right? So at the end of the month, you're gonna take a risk with something that you really desire. It's gonna be a person, place, or thing. It's definitely looking like either a relationship or a home environment, but you're jumping right into it, Virgo. And you just want to make sure that your desire is pure, and that because you are a very pure sign as well. So you want to make sure that your desire is helpful and healthy and pure. Make sure if there's someone that desires you, that they're helpful and pure. You don't want to jump into something that is potentially obsessive or dangerous or scary. Now we're going to validate that lust card. For me, this is, I'm going to need a validation, but this could definitely be talking about just things that you have a strong desire for, Virgo. This is the 24 card, so it's 6. So this is about your lifestyle. So make sure your lifestyle is healthy and not obsessive. You know, make sure that whatever you want, if what you want is good, it should not be hurting anybody, right? So that's what you just have to ask yourself. If you want a person, place, or thing really badly, if it's hurting you or others, it's probably obsessive. It's probably toxic. So just be careful and ask yourself, what is the nature of your desire? Why do you want what you want so badly? And beware. So let's get validating these cards for you, Virgo, so that we have even more detail to go off of. So let's go back into the past and see why July was so chaotic for Virgo. Please address this chaos for the Virgo reading July 2018. Show me chaos. What was chaotic for Virgo? What was chaotic for Virgo? Why is the chaos here for Virgo? What was this tornado about for Virgo? Sun, Moon, Rising for my July 2018 reading. Why did Virgo step into July? Chaos. What was chaotic for Virgo for the month of July? Okay. So we've got quite the message coming out here, but I'm just going to go with it because chaos is a very heavy energy, and I'm going to use these 3 cards. So we've got the Sun, the Lovers, and the 8 of Cups. So this chaos card had a lot to do with your own happiness. It had a lot to do with what you were able to see, Virgo. It had a lot to do with your success and your vitality, and maybe even a Leo, because we have the Sun and we have a Gemini, a Leo, and the 8 of Cups. So some of you guys could have been feeling chaotic because you walked away from something emotional. This chaos was getting out of control emotionally. So the 8 of Cups comes up when we walk away. Now this could have been because of the full moon in Capricorn. So just keep in mind that the full moon could actually be amplifying the chaos in your life. Full moons have a strange way of increasing chaos, especially emotional chaos. So this was an emotional chaos. This was, this had to do with a relationship as well. Some of you walked away from chaotic emotions in order to start a soul journey, right? So 8 of Cups, let's see here. Well, first is the Sun. The Sun is the first card out. So there's some chaos that you were aware of, Virgo, and it was stopping you from your own happiness. And it could have been a chaotic Leo in your life. You could have chaotic Leo energy in your chart, or this chaos, it could be coming in Leo season as well. But there's something here, like to have chaos in the Sun, I feel like this was all about your own happiness. So we've got the Sun, and then we've got the Lovers. So there's some sort of chaotic decision that you had to make as far as the Lovers. It could be a Gemini energy. I see a Leo and a Gemini here. So just make sure you're looking to where your Leo and your Gemini energy are. But this also is talking about the happiness in a union. Like there could have been a long distance relationship, because the Lovers card does talk about being at a distance. Now this could be a physical distance, or you could be in the same room and just feel miles away from each other. But you have a decision to make about the happiness in your relationship. Like I see that this person that you had chaos with, this Gemini energy, or this person, it doesn't have to be a Gemini, it could be anything. And now this could be talking about Gemini season as well. This could be some, since this is the Sun and the Lovers, this is telling me that the Sun was in Gemini when this chaos started. Okay, Gemini season, Cancer season. So this has been a couple of months coming. This has been a few solid months, maybe 2 to 3 months of chaos, where you're not happy in your relationship, Virgo. You're not feeling very connected harmoniously. There's something you weren't seeing. Maybe you couldn't see this person because they were at a distance. And we've got 2 big suns in these pictures. The Gemini card has a sun in it, and then we've got the actual sun. So this has to do with something that was brought to your awareness in your relationship. And it was something bad, probably. It was something. It might not have been super bad, but it caused the 8 of Cups. So you became aware of something in your relationship that caused a tornado. It caused an ending, and it caused you to walk away from someone that you were very emotionally invested in. Now, if you're not resonating with that, some of you Virgos are definitely going to resonate with the chaos having to do with your own happiness, the chaos having to do with, maybe it was something to do with the new moon in Cancer, the eclipse in Cancer. Could have been pretty chaotic because we have the Sun and the Moon here, and then the Lovers in the middle. So definitely Gemini, Leo energy. Also could have to do with Cancer, because we do have the Chariot under here. So the reason why the Sun, the Lovers, and the 8 of Cups came out for you, Virgo, is because of this Cancer. Now this could be Cancer season. We already know that Cancer season was very chaotic for you, Virgo. Now there was something in your way. And now we have the Death card. So definitely Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio energy, but this was about you transforming. Like there was an ending. The reason why everything was so chaotic, this was very chaotic. Even trying to explain this to you is very chaotic, because there was endings and beginnings and walking away, and walking away from emotions, soul journeys and stuff. But this Chariot is definitely a Cancer. Some of you, it might be a Cancer, Gemini. This might just be Cancer and Gemini season. But some of you could have definitely been dealing with a chaotic Cancer in your life, or just chaotic stuff in Cancer season. But this is victory. So you could have walked away from something that was not making you happy for your own victory. This is forward movement. This is Cancer season, but we have these two figures here that are kind of blocking the Chariot's way. So this talks about, there could have been a lot of chaos for some of you because you're trying to move forward with a person, place, or thing. What you guys were trying to do, you were just trying to be happy. Like, all you wanted was to be happy. You just wanted to be happy. You wanted to be victorious. You wanted to be happy. But there was something here about your truth. Like, the truth came out, about what was standing in your way. It could have been a third party situation because we have three figures there. This could definitely have been a third party situation too. Like, you might have thought that someone was happy with someone else, so you walked away from a third. Like, I literally see you guys walking away from a third party situation and leaving two other people to be happy with each other. Like, whatever. You guys just be happy with each other then. And I'll just walk away with my sadness and I'll deal with this chaos on my own. So I'm getting a lot of different messages here for you, Virgo, but definitely some chaos around your happiness. Definitely some chaos around the happiness of your relationship. Now, it's really interesting what Spirit just showed me. I didn't notice that all three of these people were naked. So some of you guys are dealing with chaos in your relationships, and there's also a child in the mix, and preferably a son, because we have the sun here. So the sun can also mean the son as in a son, like a little boy. I see a little boy here. So there could be something here about your children. Now, this doesn't have to be a little boy. It could also be a little girl. This is actually, there's no gender. But I'm just seeing that for some of you, you're going to resonate specifically with your son. Now, you might have a Gemini son. Some of you might have a little Gemini boy, or the father of your child might be a Gemini, or the mother of your child might be a Gemini, or there's just something here about this energy. But what I'm really seeing intuitively here is that there was some chaos in your family. You had to choose between like a relationship and your son, or it was like you tried to leave the father of your child or the mother of your child, but there's still this child in the mix. Like, I'm telling you, this is a third party situation with two people who have kids together. Or maybe you're dealing with in a relationship where they have kids with someone else, or there's someone dealing with you, Virgo, and you have a kid with someone else, and so there's like some split going on here between some children in a relationship. And that was chaotic. And maybe you walked away from that. There's something here about walking away emotionally from that. But I'm definitely seeing something here about all three of these people being naked. So to me, there's two people who have a child here. Like, some of you Virgos, there's pregnancy coming up here again. All right? You're with someone and you guys were naked to have the baby, right? Like, you had sex naked, and now there's this baby being born real soon. Some of you might be giving birth to a Gemini child, or maybe you impregnated somebody in Gemini season. I'm not sure, but there's three people naked here, and when somebody is naked in tarot, it talks about vulnerability. So just keep in mind that all three of these people, or it might not even be a child, someone could just be immature, there could just be might not be your child, it could be like a younger sibling, but there's something here. This could be the inner children of you guys, because this is a twin flame soulmate relationship. And then the sun talks about innocence. So I don't know if the innocence was corrupted. That did come up for the Leo reading as well, the corruption of innocence. So just be careful. You might want to check out the Leo reading, especially if you have a Leo son, like a child. If you have a Leo son or daughter, or if you're, just make sure you're paying attention to these energies. Because if there's a Gemini involved in your relationship, or if there's if you have a Leo offspring, like if you have a Leo child, but this is also symbolic for all children. So don't pay too much attention to the energies I'm naming, because it's literally just an innocent. There's so many different messages here. There's a message here about Virgo being in a relationship where their innocence is brought forward. Like, you are able to be naked with this person. You trust this person. You're happy with this person. But this is all coming out for chaos, remember. So that's why chaos is here, and it is very fucking chaotic. So there was some sort of truth that came out. So let's see why hope is here for Virgo. Show me hope. Give me a card to best clarify why hope is on the table for Virgo. So you definitely entered the month with a lot of different energy. You entered the month with relationship chaos, chaos around happiness, chaos around walking away. And so Virgo, we have the Seven of Swords coming out, and it kind of laid sideways. I really feel that this is in reverse, which I like to see the Seven of Swords in reverse. So, okay, some of you straight up were lied to, cheated on, and betrayed in the beginning of July. And you could have been even betrayed in Gemini season. Like your happiness, the reason you walked away from this person, place, or thing is because they literally stole from you. They cheated on you. This is a lying, cheating, and stealing energy. But when it's reversed, the fact that this is reversed, it's like you're remaining, like some of you might feel a little bit silly for getting back with someone who cheated on you or getting back with someone who stole from you. Like this could be a lot of different things. It doesn't have to be a relationship. I feel like Virgos are, you guys know when there's energy in your life like this. A Virgo always knows, especially mentally. This could be a Aquarius, Gemini, Libra energy because it's swords, right? Or this could just be a conversation, right? Because he has all those swords. So what this guy is doing is he's stealing from an army base. But if you take a look there in the background, those men are watching what he's doing. So this is about what's being done in the dark coming to the light. So there's a lot here about the dark and the light as well, because we got the dark and the light. This card is at nighttime. This card is at daytime. So whatever was done in the dark came out to the light. Now, in July, Virgo knows these people in their life. Like if this is in your life, you know who these people are. You know this is anything that has stolen from you, Virgo. It could be a job, it could be a relationship, it could be a friend, a child, a sibling. There's just every Virgo is dealing with you guys are coming like you're reviving yourself from feeling stolen from. This could be someone literally stealing from you, literally stealing money. So there was times in July where things got stolen from you. And I know that to be true because I know a lot of Virgos that literally felt stolen from. Like, just keep in mind, look back at July, all the times that you felt taken from, like things come up missing. This could also, and if it is a relationship, then this person really like left you with nothing. Like you feel like they took everything with them. But remember, this is coming out with hope. And this is coming out reverse. So it's like you're keeping the hope alive with this person, place, or thing, even though you feel like during this moment of chaos, you walked away with everything that you could, and they walked away with everything they could. Like, you left everything behind, Virgo, and they took everything. Like, you were left with the shattered remains. Like, you were basically left in that tower, and that person seemed to walk away with everything. They walked away with everything mentally. Like, all you have to do is steal from a Virgo mentally for them to feel like that. Now, I did want to mention that I did get a brief look at the Ten of Cups with this card. So I'm actually going to put this card out there because I feel like a lot of you guys were stolen from in a home environment. But this is also talking about, kind of a renewed sense of hope in your relationships or in your home environment and your family. I mean, there's definitely children coming up here, Virgo. So I don't know if someone stole from you, your family, or if they just stole a happy environment. Like they stole your emotions from you. They stole you're happy. Like this person, all they had to do was leave. Like this might not have been you leaving, Virgo. This could have been someone leaving you. Like somebody left something because it wasn't making them happy. It was like a third party situation. They left behind the sun and the moon and they like headed towards this tornado all alone. But this Ten of Cups did want to come out for you. So it's telling me that what was stolen from you, it was a relationship. Like you got cheated on or stolen from, like you were left with basically nothing. But you still have hope for this to be a positive situation. I'm telling you, there is a message here for those of you who are in relationships where you're able to feel like a kid. Like some of you might not have kids, but we've got a message here about the inner children that exist between you and the relationship you're in. And we've got that here. The Ten of Cups always reminds me of that because we have those two people and those two children dancing. So it's like, when you're with this person, you feel like a child. Like you feel adventurous and innocent and happy and joyful. So I don't know if there was a third party that was kind of causing negative energy, but I'm happy to see that this this Seven of Swords is in reverse. So there's either someone coming back to you that cheated on you and they're like, I'm really sorry. You know, you walked away. I walked away from you and I cheated on you. And I betrayed you. I betrayed our relationship. I betrayed our emotional connection, but I love you and I still have hope for you and me. So this is like the second week of July. Like, come the second week of July, there was a person, place, or thing in your life that had been betraying before. They lied to you before. But they're coming up in the reverse now, Virgo. So if there's someone in your life that you have an emotional connection with, or that you love, or that you trust, or that you still have hope to be with, then just know that in the reading, they're showing up as the reverse Seven of Swords. So they don't want to continue that behavior. They don't want to continue to lie to you. They don't want to continue to cheat on you or to steal from you. They're focusing more on happiness. And the reason why the Seven of Swords came out with the Ten of Cups is because of the World card. So by the middle of July, Virgo, you were truly completing a cycle of karma with someone. You know, it's like the four corners of your universe stabilized, and you completed a cycle. You definitely completed a cycle. And look, we have the Leo card showing up for you. So some of you are completing this cycle for sure. And I was drawn to this lion right here. So Leo is coming up. So if you have Leo energy, or if you're dealing with a Leo as a Virgo, know that there's a cycle completing. But this doesn't have to be a Leo. This is Leo season, right? So it's going to have a lot to do with how your world changes in Leo season. But also, it's about having the strength to complete. You know what I mean? Like, no more lies, no more betrayal. We even have the Ten of Cups. The Ten of Cups is another completion card. So when you guys headed into the second half of the month, headed into Leo season, basically, yeah, Leo season is all about a new beginning for you guys. The first half of the month was chaotic, and you know, you were very melancholy. You literally had to remain hopeful about something. But you step into your strength. You know, it's like you completed a cycle, and in order to complete this cycle, you had to be strong. You know, this is a celebration. This is a karmic cycle. This is a completion, a success. Now, we got lots of naked people up in your reading, Virgo. Like, this is damn near all. I think the only other card that has naked is the Star card. So we've got all these naked people. This woman is naked, and these people are naked. So I feel like that has something to do with feeling very vulnerable this month. Like, you know, if you can't be naked in front of somebody, and what does it mean to be naked in a metaphor? It's like you're not hiding anything. You're not hiding anything. You're in it completely, right? Like, you're just very vulnerable, Virgo. Very, very vulnerable. But it's about, this is karmic. The reason I'm getting hung up on the naked people, because I feel like there's a message here about really being naked with someone and being very vulnerable and taking a risk. Risk is another vulnerable thing. And then we have lust. Can't forget that lust in your reading, Virgo. So I want you guys to reflect on all the times that you were naked in July, because it has something to do with this cycle. It has something to do with this relationship and your happiness. So in order to be happy in your relationship, you're going to have to let all your guard down, Virgo. You're going to have to, like, bear it all. You're going to have to be spiritually and mentally and physically completely naked. Like, this is who I am, scars and all, you know. But I pulled the Libra card for the world, so that's another karmic card. So going back to this Seven of Swords and this Ten of Cups, anybody who stole from your home, anybody who, you know, betrayed your emotional trust or your emotional like, for some of you, this Seven of Swords was someone you had a relationship with. Like, you guys, some of you were very much cheated on or stolen from at a very happy, harmonious level. Like, your happy home was stolen from you, but your hope wasn't stolen from you. But this is a good card to come up for that, because that was because of a cycle of karma. So if there is somebody who cheated, stolen, anyone who's just not being an honest vibration, you could even be hanging on to them a little bit, but just know that karma is going to be after them. Because that's the ending to that. The betrayal, the lies, the cheating, Virgo, there's an ending to that now. And I believe the Ten of Cups wanted to come out because, yes, some of you were in relationships with these people that were cheating on you. Some of you are that Seven of Swords. So don't forget that some of you Virgos could be the ones cheating and lying and stealing in your relationships, but now you're just ready to put an end to your player ways. And you just want to be with that one person. Like, a lot of Virgos are headed into commitment and real marriage, you know, like, you guys are real, like, it's because of Venus. I bet it's because of Venus, and it's because your birthdays are coming up. So a lot of Virgos are just realizing we had the Five of Wands come out to tell me that there's been a lot of conflict in this area of Virgo's life. But yeah, I think either you guys are with people who are finally ready to commit and to stop cheating and stealing and being betraying like that, or you guys are just simply ready to be that. But I see happiness. And some of you guys were stolen from, like someone broke into your home and stole something, or you're being stolen from your family members or something like that. But just keep in mind, now the Ten of Swords came out, and it flipped back over. So this is, I think it wants to go down there on that table, but I'm going to just keep shuffling. So the Ten of Swords was almost here at risk. So some of you guys are taking a risk to revive something that seemed very dead. You know what I mean? It's another 10 card. So we had the Ten of Cups and the Ten of Swords that wanted to come out. But, you know, and then the Queen of Swords is at the bottom with the Magician. So I'm going to go ahead and say that that's probably for you, Virgo. But I'm going to shuffle and let a card come out. Like, you guys are taking a risk with something that was kind of completed for you. Like, it was over, but you're just willing to try again because you had hope. So hopefully you understand this Seven of Swords, betraying energy, kind of leaving your home environment. So if there's anybody that's moving out of your home at the beginning of July, Virgo, it's better for them to leave your home, because they were just causing a betraying energy, and you don't want that in your happy home. So let's see what this risk is about. We're heading into the second half of the month now, seeing how we end the month as a Virgo for July 2018. So can you tell me about risk? What is it that Virgo is risking? What is this risk about for Virgo? What is this risk about? What is Virgo risking in July 2018? Okay, so yeah, just as I thought, because it's the 31, right? And I told you that this has to do with your emotion, this has to do with your home environment. So we've got the King of Cups. So this is definitely a Scorpio, Cancer, or Pisces energy. So some of you towards the end of the month are straight up taking a risk with a Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio. And this could be that same Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio that has to do with this Eight of Cups and this Ten of Cups. Because some of you guys walked away from emotion. But this is you taking, if you're not dealing with a Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio, you're taking an emotional risk for a person, place, or thing. Now, some of you guys could be taking an emotional risk for a job. You could be taking an emotional risk for to move somewhere when you're not really sure how it's going to affect you emotionally. But the King of Cups, he doesn't even believe in taking an emotional risk, because he's so enlightened about his emotions that he knows that this is just going to cause him growth. He's very, very, he's a leader emotionally. He leads by his emotion. He's surrounded by water. He wears his emotions proudly. So this is about you being emotionally naked with someone, you know, really opening up about how you truly feel, and taking an emotional risk. But for some of you, you're definitely taking a risk with a Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio energy, or just taking a risk with someone who's very emotional. But I really think that you're taking an emotional risk, Virgo, because you've been very hurt, especially in July. It's kind of hard for you to walk away or deal with someone walking away from you emotionally, or whether you walked away or someone else walked away, there was emotion just kind of left in the abyss. And then there's this Ten of Cups energy that you still had hope in, though, right? Even though you were cheated on and lied to and stolen from. But you're still this you still want to embody your emotions like someone who's mature. So this is you being mature emotionally and not even wanting revenge. You know, you're like, you know, okay, what happened, happened. You know, I understand. And I'm just going to take a risk with you. So whoever this reading is about, like if you're cross-watching for Virgo, just know that if a Virgo has taken an emotional risk with you after you hurt them and betray them, you're very lucky, because they're jumping into an environment that they don't even really appreciate. Like, so remember, we talked a lot about your foundation. Well, the King of Cups, his very foundation is in the water. So this is about you ending Cancer season with an emotional risk. Like, this is very Cancer energy. The reason why the King of Cups is there for risk is because of the Five of Cups. So this tells me that this risk is very much emotional for Virgo. This has a lot to do with the way Virgo feels. This has a lot to do with the way Virgo has been made to feel. So, you know, the Five of Cups talks about, you know, sadness. This man is very sad. So this is probably you, Virgo. You know, feeling really sad about something that ended. Now, these three cups are knocked over right here. So this is either the lack of a celebration happening, or it's that third party that was happening in Gemini season and in Cancer season that you walked away from. Like, this is a third party that tipped over. But what remains behind this Three of Cups is the Two of Cups. So some of you directly are forgiving someone for cheating on you, and but you want to be careful not to get too caught up in what happened, because this is over with. This is spill over. This didn't work out, right? There's something that you're very focused on. Very focused on it. It didn't work out. And I want you to know at the end of the month, Virgo, be careful what you're focusing on. Because what's right behind you that you don't see is this beautiful relationship. You know, it's still the Two of Cups. It's a reconciliation. So if you're a Virgo that has been dealing with endings in relationships, just know that there is a opportunity for you guys to reconcile at the end of the month. There's and I think that you guys already know this, because you're the ones who stayed hopeful. You stayed hopeful in a situation even though you were heartbroken, even though you were betrayed. So you're taking an emotional risk, allowing somebody back into your home that betrayed you, or you're allowing somebody back into your aura, your emotions. You know, Virgo is very, very private about their emotions. So you're taking an emotional risk, I see. Let's see what lust is about, because I want to know what this lust card is. Be careful moving forward, Virgo. And I'll tell you what, we almost had the Four of Wands pop out. So some of you are in a very lustful relationship. And, you know, this is something that, you know, it's probably a second chance to turn lust into love or something like that. But let's see what card comes out for you for lust, so that we can get a really good interpretation of this lust card. Because I want to know I want to know what's up, what I gotta talk to you about. Okay, the Ten of Wands. So for some of you guys, this is a very heavy burden. The fact that someone is very sexually, but that's just for some of you, because that card did not come out all the way. We have the Page of Swords, so there's some truth coming out about, there could be someone spying on you in a lustful way, so be careful of that, Virgo. Let's get a card for lust, so that we know why this card is here for Virgo. Why do they end August in a very, on the tone of lust? So for some of you, this could be really great sex. But just be careful, because you could be dealing with a lustful person that has the spirit of lust attached to them, and that might be why they cheat on you a lot, because they're very lustful. And so this could be you, Virgo. If you're a Virgo that is very lustful, very sexual, wow. You want to know the card that came out? The Hermit. So this lust energy is you, Virgo. In the bottom of the deck, the reason why the Hermit card came out is the Four of Cups. I love this card combination. I've been getting this card combination a lot over the past couple months. The reason I like it is because both of these cards talk about contemplation. Both of these cards talk about soul searching. Both of these cards talk about going inwards for the answer. So it's interesting that we end your reading with that Four of Cups. The Four of Cups. So another thing is, remember here, we had the Five of Cups. Even though we had the King of Cups, the reason why the King of Cups is on the table is because you were overly focused about a third party situation. So a lot of you, in July, there was a lot of truth that came out. So a lot of you, whether it was you or another person, Virgo, there was a third person in your relationship. There's no doubt about it. A lot of you were engaged in two or more people. Now, this doesn't have to mean cheating. Just remember, some of you guys have children. So if you have children, just know that there's you, the mom, or there's you and the dad, and then there's that kid, right? There's the two people in a relationship, and then there's the kid. Or Virgo, it could be you, your partner in work. It could be you, your partner in distance. So just keep in mind that a third party doesn't have to be a human. There's just a third element to your relationship that you are focusing on. This person, just like in the Five of Cups, he's very focused on these three people, these three decisions. He's focused on these cups. So there's something that's really got you emotionally, it's got your emotional attention. There could be a Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio that you're paying a lot of attention to, but just be careful that you're not hung up on all the bad emotion, because you're overly focused. And you know how you get when you're focused, Virgo. This is you really trying to ground yourself emotionally in July. And you've been thinking a lot about this third party situation. You've been thinking a lot about the betrayal. you've been thinking a lot, but you got to be careful because there's something being offered to you. There's a new lover, there's a new relationship. The universe is trying to give you this opportunity, but if you're paying too much attention to these 3 cups, you're going to miss this very rare and unique opportunity, just like in the 5 of Cups. So this is 2 messages now where Virgo is emotionally focused on something that is potentially distracting them from a very beautiful thing. And what is distracting you from is this relationship right here, this 2 of Cups. Now, whoever you're in a relationship with, Virgo, just know that come Leo season, your guys' cups are going to intertwine and you're going to have a very strong union. And it's only going to happen for the Virgos that, you know, didn't overly emotionally attach to what happened. And that's the real pretty thing. That's a really beautiful thing about Virgo energy, is that you guys emotionally forgive people very quickly. Whereas a water sign would never handle this betrayal the same way. Like, they will make you live down to it to the last breath. But earth signs are very forgiving, and you know, you're willing to put in this work. You're willing to put in the earthly work for this relationship. And even though you were distracted for a significant amount of time, you were very emotionally distracted in July, Virgo, but you didn't allow that to get the best of you. You still stayed hopeful. You actually walked away from certain emotion, and you did that so that you wouldn't overthink about it. Because trust me, there is a relationship, there's a reconciliation. So if you dealt with, you know, breakups or betrayal at the beginning of July, come the end of July, as long as your eyes are open, as long as you're willing to see the good in this relationship still, there is still hope there. Even if you cheated on this person, even if this person cheated on you, Leo season is going to strengthen the emotional bond that you guys have, all the work that you've put in and the dedication. But don't think I forgot about this, Virgo. This is a straight up exposing Virgo's lust in July. Like, I don't know if Venus is just really getting you guys passionate and horny, or something like that, but this lust, as soon as I said, you know, Virgo, this might be you, the Hermit card popped out. So I don't know if some of you guys have just been spending too much time alone in isolation. You know, it's no secret that Virgos are very, very sexual. And I'm not saying that you guys have sex with a lot of people. It's just you guys are some of because you guys are the house of service to others. So when you have sex with someone who likes being of service to others, like, you guys are very pleasers, just like Pisces. So there could be a lustful energy that you're tapping into at the end of July, Virgo. It's like all this emotion, all of this passion that has built up is going to really set in Leo season. But just be careful, Virgo, that if you're dealing with a lustful person, that you're not obsessed, right? Make sure that you're not engaging in harmful. So this is sex, Virgo. There's going to be some interesting sex for you. Ending in July, going into August, it's that Leo energy in your 12th house. And it's also, you know, the fact that some of you guys have been alone for a really long time, isolated, and you haven't had a lot of sex. So you're really, really feeling the sexual drive coming into August. So yeah, you guys might take an emotional risk for someone because they're sexy, and because you love them, and because you're tied to them passionately, and because you guys have a very strong sexual and emotional connection. But just be careful, you know, throughout July, even though it's already the end of July. Hopefully you were careful in July about, you know, what consumed your thoughts emotionally. Because I know Virgo was doing a lot of emotional contemplation, but it's about remaining grounded in your relationships. You know, knowing that people make mistakes and you make mistakes and no one's really perfect, right, Virgo? But yeah, maybe there is a message here about some of you isolating yourself from sex, whether that's by will or by choice or because the universe did it to you. But there is a very small portion of you that are gonna like remain abstinent because we have the Hermit card and lust. So you guys might like cut off sex with a person just so that you can reevaluate whether they're obsessed with you or whether they're good for you or toxic for you. But others of you, this is you coming out of a period of isolation to have a lot of really passionate sex, emotionally binding sex going into August. So that's fun, Virgo. Very interesting reading here, and yours is a little bit long, but it's okay. You know, I haven't talked to you guys in so long. I definitely just wanted to see what's going on, and there's a lot going for all of us. A lot going on for now. Another thing is others of you might be with a Virgo. This might not be you. There, you could be dealing with another Virgo energy that's very lustful. So I don't know, Virgo. You know, you guys are very good at analyzing, and you guys are actually really spiritual too. So you're gonna have to let me know. You guys are very private people. Just trust your intuition about this reading. Hopefully you're able to kind of hear the messages that were important for you, and if something doesn't apply, you know, it's not for you. This is a general reading, so this is for all Virgos that are led to watch my YouTube channel. If you guys would like a personal reading, I am doing personal readings. I'm doing retrograde readings for $30 this month and all throughout August. So I'm definitely back into my office, and I'm able to record. So yeah, make sure that you just check my description box for anything like that. Go ahead and subscribe to me if you want to stay updated with all my upcoming videos, because I'm definitely going to be putting out videos about Mercury retrograde, and I'm going to be putting out videos about Neptune and Uranus probably. I'm definitely going to have an Aquarius lunar eclipse video. So lots of astrology information coming, guys. Lots of tarot messages. So if this is something you like, please subscribe. And any questions you have, go ahead and email me, or you can comment below. Virgo, it's time to get through Leo season. And you know what happens after Leo season? It's definitely going to be Virgo season. So this is all happening for a reason, Virgo. And I hope that you had a great July through the chaos, through the lust, through the risks that you were taking, and through the hope that you still held on to. You guys look like you went through a lot. And I hope this reading kind of helps sum up that month. So thank you so much for those of you who continue to watch. And I will talk to you guys again in August. See you later, Virgo.